Blink it and you miss it. And I mean it, just take a look how much land Ukraine was able to take back in just 1 week. It is estimated that during this counteroffensive, Ukraine was able to liberate more than 6,000 square kilometers of its territory. And today I'll be showing you the pictures and videos from these liberated settlements so we can both enjoy the Ukraine's counteroffensive. After this, I will talk about which territories Ukraine is planning to liberate next. And finally, we'll talk about absolutely hilarious reasoning that Russia gave us about their retreat. But more about all of this in just a couple of minutes. What's up, investors? It's the Russian dude, and today let's just take a moment and appreciate the incredible counteroffensive of Ukraine in the east. And so our first video comes to us from Kazachia Lopan, and as you can see, the local residents are extremely happy to be liberated. Then we go to its small neighbor, the small town of Koptivka, and as you can see, it was liberated as well. The next video comes to us from the liberated town of Strelechia, and going a little bit to the south, to Liptsi, we can see the picture from liberated city as well. And finally, going a little bit more to the east, we can see a picture from liberated Vovchansk. And if you remember from previous week episodes, Vovchansk was exactly that city where Russian infiltrators were escaping from Kupiansk. And so right now, since the city is under full control of the Ukrainian army, Russian infiltrators continued to run away even further. But we will talk more about this very soon. Because right now, as you might have already noticed, all these settlements I've been talking about are located next to Russian border. We then have videos like this where you can see Ukrainian soldiers standing next to abandoned checkpoints, literally with the border with Russia. But as promised by President Zelensky several months ago, Ukraine is not planning to bring war to the territory of Russia. But nevertheless, the governor of Belgorod region, Vyacheslav Gladkov, he still decided to announce a mandatory evacuation. But okay, now let's start going a little bit more to the south. And while I'm doing this, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel if you like this style of daily updating. So the first video comes to us from liberated Veliki Burluk. And as you can see from this map, this city is located on the intersection of several major roads. And then if we move a little bit to the west, we can see a video from liberated Khotimlia. And then going back to the east, here is the picture from liberated Dvorichnya. Just several kilometers to the south, here is the picture from liberated Kindrashivka. And then here is a very powerful picture from liberated Kupiansk. If you remember from my previous episodes, I was assuming that the battle for Kupiansk will be one of the major battles in the east. Because in case Ukraine is successful, this will allow them to liberate to the north and to the south of this territory. And as you can see, before you even know it, this is exactly what has happened. And so right now, I'll be showing you even more footage from liberated territories to the south of Kupiansk before making my next assumptions which territories are going to be liberated next. So the first video comes to us from liberated Veliki Khutora. And then if we go a little bit to the southwest, we can see the liberated Chkalovsk. Several kilometers to the south, here is the picture from completely liberated Savintsy. And then going even more to the south, we have a video from liberated Velika Kamyshekhova. Right, now it's time to talk about the second most important battle of the previous week, the battle for Izyum. As you can see from this video, which is also confirmed by this map, this city has been completely liberated by Ukrainians. And while retreating from Izyum, Russians, as always, left so much military vehicles and equipment to Ukrainians, which to be honest just once again confirms their status as one of the biggest sponsors of Ukraine. But anyways, the importance of capturing this city for Ukrainians once again is that it is located in the intersection of major highways. And as a result of recapturing Izyum, this potentially opens for Ukrainians even further directions to liberate the east. Because right now, one of the major cities which are still under the control of Russia are Severodonetsk and Lysychansk. That is why it is my honest assumption that both of these cities will be the next targets for Ukrainians. Alright, and before I talk about the evidence that Ukrainians might already be inside Severodonetsk and Lysychansk, here are just a couple more videos from Kharkov region. And first of all, here is a video from liberated Yeremivka. Then going a little bit more to the southeast, here is the picture from liberated Svetohirsk. And believe it or not, here is the video of Ukrainians planting their flag in Kuzimivka. And as you can see, according to this map, this territory is allegedly still under the control of Russia. Overall, the counteroffensive of Ukrainians has been massively successful in just such a short period of time. And besides pushing Russians away from its territory, capturing their military vehicles, they were also able to destroy Russian military objects along the way. For example, as you can see from this video, this is the consequences of a HIMARS attack. And of course, in every single liberated town, their local residents were meeting their Ukrainian soldiers as real true heroes. And by the way, and I almost forgot this, but if you want to see the entire footage over the last weekend Ukraine's counteroffensive, and I have close to 100 photos and videos, please consider checking my Patreon. All the proceeds will be donated to Ukraine, and you can find all the useful links down below. But okay, now as promised, let's talk about the next potential territories that Ukraine is planning to retake. According to several reports, at this very moment there is a heavy fighting happening in Liman, but at the same time some other people claim that they've been already spotting individual Ukrainian soldiers in Kremina. The presence of at least individual Ukrainians can be confirmed by this picture, which came to us from Donetsk region. And then according to yet unconfirmed reports, the way Russians are fighting are basically just to slow down Ukrainians. What they mean by that is that they technically accepted the defeat, but they just need time to retreat. And so what do we have at this very moment? We have pretty much confirmed presence of Ukrainians in Liman and Kremina. And at the same time, the remaining Russians in Rubizhna, Severodonetsk and Lysychansk are fighting just enough so they can buy themselves time to retreat. And yes, by the way, I'll speak more in details about the Russian retreat very soon. And then, like mentioned previously, eventually this attack will be joined by forces of Ukraine from the north. And all this makes me want to think that the priority for Ukrainians at this very moment will be this area. And ultimately we might see the liberation of the entire east of Ukraine except Donbass region. But this territory was already occupied by Russia before February 24th. Which means that in case Ukraine is successful in Kharkov region and then they decide to go south to liberate Donbass, which I mean they should, we might see some major things happening. And according to the Deputy Minister of Defense of Ukraine, Anna Malyar, Ukraine was already able to liberate more than 6,000 square kilometers of its territory. And the majority of this liberation happened only during one last previous week, which to be honest made me realize something. I mean, wasn't it Russia who wanted to liberate the entire Ukraine in only 3 days? And now look how tables turned. Okay, and before I talk about the hilarious reasoning of Russia, why they are retreating from Kharkov region, here are just a couple of words about the retreat itself. First of all, according to this video which came to us from Svatove, the Russian propagandist is explaining that the Russian army is retreating from this city to the east. But then, as we go to Starobilsk, we have this video of Russians retreating even further. And according to the locals, these Russian military vehicles are driving in the southern directions, which most likely means that they are retreating to Luhansk. And I mean, okay, let's go to this territory now. Because here, according to the head of Luhansk region, Sergei Gaidai, there is a huge traffic jam of Russians who are trying to escape this territory as well. And then, you know what? We have this video with our favorite, wink wink, Denis Pushilin, who is saying that he is very amazed with the Russian soldiers. He's saying that he will remain in the area, he will be in touch, but it does look like that his car is driving away somewhere very fast. And there is not much confidence in his voice either. But okay, let's wrap it up by talking about the ridiculous reasons of this retreat from the Russian side. First of all, obviously, according to them, Russia retreats victoriously, and it is Ukrainians who run in in panic after them. But to be serious, and I mean as serious as it can get, the reason why Russians retreated from Balaklia and Izyum regions is to build better defenses around Donetsk region. So I mean, yeah, it does look like that the Ministry of Defense of Russia itself already acknowledged that they lost everything above Donetsk. They also say that this was a planned operation and was executed perfectly. And along the way, they were able to eliminate hundreds and probably even thousands of Ukrainian soldiers. But then, I mean, how do you explain the retreat from the north of this territory? And you know what? Russia also has a perfect explanation why they had to give up Kupiansk as well. Because according to them, the reason Russia left this city is to save the lives of civilians. I mean, what a nice gesture of goodwill, right? In today's episode, I just wanted to enjoy with you the magnificent counteroffensive of Ukraine in the last couple of days. In addition to that, I want to personally say thank you to Alexander Mircea, MB, Doug Fuller, Sean Bolland, KY Packer Fan, TX Kicker, Philippe Cellphone, Robin VD Sludges, Tony B, Uncrit1 and Martin. Thank you so much for becoming my most recent channel members. And if you as well want to support my work and unlock some benefits, please consider becoming my channel member as well. And finally, if you want to see the updated statistics on Russian losses, feel free to join my Discord. And yes, it's completely free. Thank you so much for your attention, stay safe and see you tomorrow.